Lots of people still getting confused about SEO press releases, and one specific request I've had is how exactly do you write that press release? So that's a perfectly good question. Now remember, the press release serves multiple purposes. Ideally, we do want to get in front of genuine humans and eyeballs through those media platforms, but it's quite unlikely because there's so much out there. For SEO purposes, the results are quite profound. So for that reason, we're looking at contextual relevance. We want these backlinks to actually have text around them that's related to our niche. And then we have anchors, which basically means the text of the link we want to point to our site with relevant anchor text to help our site rank for that keyword. Then we have on-page optimization for ranking. So even though this is a press release that's going to be distributed and technically duplicate content on all these different websites, we still want to optimize the page to give that press release the best chance of ranking for keywords. For two different reasons. One is basically parasite SEO. You've probably seen in my previous video where I was able to rank number 1 for best SEO speaker using Yahoo Finance and Business Insider, thanks to Magic PR. And in those cases, you're trying to really optimize the press release itself, put it on a powerful website, and then perform off-page SEO to that page to get that page to rank. So that's backlink, CTR manipulation, everything else, everything you can throw at it. And then finally, we have compliance, where we're using these press release distribution platforms and they have editorial standards. And so a big part of the SEO press release game is not only getting these efficiencies into our press release so that we get that link power and we get the press release to rank, but we also have to make sure the editors actually accept that press release. And then people do ask me about distribution. So yes, you've written the press release, and a lot of people will just put that on their website, especially big corporations. They'll have a press release section, but they won't really do anything with it. So what you need to do is find a press release distribution partner. Now you can do that in a number of ways. You can go to the cheap end of AB Newswire, EIN Presswire. You've got services like PR Fire that are still quite cheap. If you write the press release yourself, or for a bit more money, they'll distribute it for you and write it for you. We have our own basic press release service as part of our affordable SEO packages, which comes in combination with actually optimizing your site for your target keywords, and then your foundation links. So citations, listings in local business directories, and a simple press release. So perfect example, that's exactly what I did with my Cleaners Enfield website. And then within 6 weeks of doing that, so that's a highly optimized homepage, using target keywords and ChatGPT, and then powered up with these foundation links of citations and a basic press release. And within a matter of weeks, it's ranked number 2 on Google for a search that gets 150 searches per month with a cost per click of around $2. So this is exactly the aim of a basic press release. We're not too concerned about where it goes. It's just the sheer volume of around 250 websites, all repeating that contextual relevance with backlinks into our site, very clearly signaling to Google that we've built this footprint and all these resources are linking to us, talking about cleaners in Enfield. However, perfectly sensible to go upmarket. In my case, for best SEO speaker and getting that number 1 ranking through Parasite SEO, that came down largely to the platforms that only premium press release providers have. So Magic PR, for instance, they've negotiated with a lot of top publications, and that's why with Magic PR, you can get Yahoo Finance, Globe Newswire, Business Insider, Digital Journal, a load of these top names. So yes, for $50 to $100, you can use EIN, AB Newswire, one of those, and you will get the volume. And that's exactly what we did for the cleaning company here. But to rank for something more competitive, to get maximum power from premium news outlets, then you might want to use a more upmarket provider like Magic PR that has got those custom relationships. And therefore, those relationships, they're not going to be publishing everyone else. And therefore, the power you get from those sites is going to be more significant. Plus, with Magic PR, they've got their own SEO optimizations on top of the press release, including distribution to a much bigger network of sites, and then building other entities like drive stacks to really power up those press releases with even more power. And not only do they write it for you, but they write it for you in the right way. I didn't even realize with my Best SEO Speaker article that got the feature snippet on Google, partly because it had schema structured data embedded within the press release. So that's the kind of service I probably wouldn't have even thought of, and Magic PR is able to do that for you. No questions asked. You get the release back within about 24 to 48 hours. And then final approval, it goes through to the news outlets. And within days, I am literally at number 1 with the featured snippets. I'll leave a link to that video below. But what if you do want to write the press release yourself? Whether you're using a cheap service, or even if you are using a more premium service, but you still want to write the press release yourself, That's always an option. Well, my approach is typically still using a correlational SEO tool like Surfer, Page Optimizer Pro, whichever one of those you want, that basically looks at your competitors for your target keyword and extracts all the relevant entities that you should be including. Now, the challenge we have here is these will always have a high word count because they're based on the long form pages of your competitors. Whereas your press release, the chances are you're only going to have around 700 to 1,000 words to work with. So unfortunately, we're never going to get a particularly high content score out of this, but it's still worth including the right entities on the page. And remember, this is still going on a really powerful news websites. In fact, lots of really powerful news websites. So your content doesn't even need to be that high scoring. So from here, we take my fairly standard process for on page that I repeat in most of my videos, which is copy all these entities from Surfer, and then we go to ChatGPT, and then we say, write me a press release on targeting the keyword SEO speaker using the following entities, the number of times after 0/. And that's because Surfer formats all those keywords with the number of times to use the keyword after 0/. Now let's tweak this a little bit more. So we want a 700 word press release. And now we need to give it some context. Normally if I were just doing basic SEO content, I would say that's enough, let's go. But in this case, we want to create a story because it's a requirement of these newswires that you have something to share that's not just doing business. So in my case, I used the announcement that SEO Jesus was recently awarded the best SEO speaker at the affiliate gathering in York. That was basically my hook. So after the entities, let's put in some more contextual data. Remember, don't press enter because then it will go through and actually run the prompt. And that should be it. So I'm not actually giving any prompting here. I'm just simply dumping in some source data at the bottom and hopefully ChatGPT will be able to work with that. So this is going to take a few rephrasings. So let's just give it that and see what it comes up with. So International SEO Speaker Stuart Vickers honoured with Best SEO Speaker Award at the Affiliate Gathering 2024. Perfectly good there. Okay, so this is all looking pretty good. It's done exactly what we wanted. Now I tend to go back because ChatGPT does tend to use a lot of hype and it doesn't understand the requirements of a press release, that it needs to be factual and non-sensational. So at this point I'll tend to go back. I've not even read it yet, but I'm just going to say press releases need to be neutral, non-sensational and purely reporting news in a non-salesy way. So we'll give it that prompt and then it can go through and then rewrite it. So there's still elements of promotion here. So I'm a prominent SEO speaker and I've got deep knowledge of advanced SEO strategies. Now, the other thing I would say is press releases are meant to be more for companies, so you can get pushback if you submit a personal press release rather than a company press release. So I might just go back. Again, it depends on which newswire you're working with, but in this case, I would say make this a company press release for SEO Jesus rather than a personal one from its owner, Stuart Vickers. Now, hopefully this doesn't change too much. So in this case, it's just done a find and replace, basically. I've replaced Stuart Vickers with SEO Jesus. So this time I'm now going to tweak it again. Don't just replace Stuart Vickers with SEO Jesus. Make SEO Jesus the company, but keep it so that Stuart Vickers is the SEO speaker on their behalf. Let's try that. There we are. So SEO Jesus, a leading SEO company, is proud to announce that its principal SEO speaker, Vickers, was recently awarded the best SEO speaker at the Affiliate Gathering 2024 held in York. So that all adds up. Okay, so now, as usual, I'm going to copy this and put it into Surfer and then apply a next level of optimization, which will also help with some of those classic AI footprints and detectability. So we want to disrupt some of those footprints and patterns. First of all, we want a H1, so that alone will bring the content score up a lot. We're already in line with the average of 57. If we make these headings correct as H2, then that will help as well. So we're about to hit the top actually, even though we've only got 500 words rather than 3,000. And of course, with that 587 words, we are within the remits allowed by the distribution wires. And then we go to insert terms. That's quite cleverly hidden. Auto optimize is very good, but it will cost you credits. Whereas if you go to just insert terms here, we can't actually do it because we're not long enough. So that's fine. We've actually hit 62 anyway. Ordinarily, if I hit that limit then and needed to still improve the content score more, I would probably just copy everything I've got here and then duplicate it, paste it in again underneath to bring up the word count, automatically insert the terms, and then just delete the duplicate text to bring it back down to the 700 words. So this is pretty much it. Now this can go to the newswires, and of course you want to insert your links accordingly. You normally get quite a few links allowed. I think it's between 3 and 5 generally for most press releases. So it's a good idea to have a homepage link, because why wouldn't you do that? And then if there's a few focus pages you want to power up, so inner pages within your site, your money pages, you might want to do that. In my case, I want to target my SEO speaker pages. I've had those on my personal brand website, my SEO Jesus website, parasite posts I've done. So you can see my previous videos on how I actually did that. But going back to the requirements here, fundamentally, we've got contextual relevance. We've got a page that's all about SEO speaker, Stuart Vickers. Anchors, we can insert our link saying best SEO speaker, link that to my SEO speaker page. On-page optimization for ranking, yes. Using Surfer, we've actually got a page that's in line with the top competitors' content score on Google. And then compliance, hopefully this doesn't trigger any major red flags. It's a company press release that's announcing a newsworthy item and it's not too promotional. But here's a final trick for you. What you'll find is these newswires will often come back to you with issues. So here's one example from a couple of months ago, where it says, EIN Presswire is a distributor of press releases. The title of your press release is not in line with the press release format. Please try to write an attention-grabbing headline that a journalist looking for news to cover would find of interest. EIN Presswire is not a platform for advertising. However, we're a great platform to reach the media and for your SEO. Please edit the following. Change sales language to neutral, revolutionary. So you can see how temperamental they can be. Subtle things like that can trigger them and stop your press release from going through. But this is the only feedback I've been given. So what I do in that case is copy that. And in your case, you might have much longer feedback. And then I just go back to my ChatGPT draft and I paste in their requirements. I take the feedback from the newswire, go to ChatGPT and give it the responsibility for actually making that press release compliant. And then with that, you should then have a press release that conforms to all the press release requirements. But like I say, it is a bit of a faff. If you're just launching a new site, you're testing things, then by all means, write it yourself and use one of these cheap service providers. That's exactly what I do. That's how we get results like this, using the combination with citations as listings and local business directories, which mean for a fairly small site, you can rank that pretty much within a number of weeks in most cases using that process. So that's exactly what we offer in the affordable packages. But then if you want to go heavy and hard, and like me, you want to rank number one, get the feature snippet for a big major term like SEO speaker, then you might be better off with a service like Magic PR, where not only are you getting these premium names, but they're then building additional links to those premium names so that those pages rank really well, all of which funnels more power and authority back into your website.